Amazing ways to keep conversation going on with a girl. You don't want to miss this. Hello and welcome. I'm Arica Angelo, helping you become the kind of man that you just can't resist while not losing yourself or her in the process. So what are some amazing ways to keep conversation going with a girl? I'm glad you asked, because guess what? A lot of guys ask me this, because most guys, listen, conversation just doesn't come easy to most guys. And so if that's you and you're like, yes, that's me, definitely check out. I created a whole online program to help you guys out with this. It's called Create and Keep Great Conversation on the Date. And one of the things that I really go into is this. I call it the spaghetti effect. And I don't know why I call it the spaghetti effect. You know why I'll tell you why I call it the spaghetti effect. Is because I watched Lady and the Tramp with the two little dogs, and you know how they're like, they're sucking on the spaghetti at the same time. Well, in my little child mind, I saw that expanding. But you know how spaghetti is. It starts off straight and then it kind of unfolds. So it's the same thing with conversation. Like when you're talking to a woman and you start asking her questions, most of the time what a lot of people do who don't really do conversation well is they just drop it. So they'll ask a question like, hey, what's your favorite country to travel to? Oh, my favorite country to travel to is Italy. Now I'm just saying Italy because I'm about to leave to Italy. Oh, and I'm in Lisbon, Portugal right now. So if you're new to my channel, I'm always traveling somewhere. So I like to tell you where I'm at in the world. So what if she says it's Italy? A lot of guys or a lot of people who aren't good at conversation, not just guys, but they'll just drop it there and go, ah, cool. And then there's just dead silence. So where the spaghetti effect comes into place, perfect when we're talking about Italia, is, you know, when you ask that question, growing and expanding it, expanding the question. And I talk a lot about this and Create and Keep Great Conversation on the Date, is when she says it's Italy, I was going to say Italia, you say, what is it? You have to tell me more. Like, what is it that you love about Italy? Well, I don't know. I just find it beautiful. Okay. And so a lot of people will just stop right there because they don't want to make the person feel uncomfortable. Well, Arica, I don't want her to feel like I'm interrogating her. No, it's not an interrogation. When you, here's the posture. Here's the intention behind your questioning. It's a curiosity to want to get to know her. Anytime we come with that position of, I'm curious to get to know you, people are more inclined to share more. So don't feel like, you know, you're this inspector just getting all these questions out of her, answers out of her. No. You're curious about her. And when you have that kind of posture, she's gonna be more inclined to open up to you. So when she goes, oh, I don't know, it's just pretty. Once again, don't just drop it. Think about basketball. You just keep the ball in the air. It's the same thing. You keep the conversation going. So what you do from there is you go, okay, give me more than that. What is it that you find beautiful? Is it the architecture? Is it the fact that it's like a country of love? It's that Latin country of love. Is it the food? Is it the wine? Oh, and then it makes her like get conscious as to why she loves this place. Oh, well, I really love the wine. Really? What's your favorite wine? So when you start asking these other questions, like if she says art, then you know right then and there, like, oh, I need to take this woman on more art dates. Or if she says it's wine, I need to take her wine tasting. But this helps not only keep amazing conversation going on, but it also gives you insight into like what makes her tick, what makes her excited, what makes her come alive. And then you get to plan more dates around that so that the romance, the connection, the excitement of being with you continues to grow. Hey guys, no matter where you are in your journey with women, I've got you covered with one of my courses. So make sure that you check these courses out at aricaangelo.com. So I really want you to get comfortable trying this spaghetti effect. I think most of us, when we ask a question, most of the time we don't realize that there's tons of opportunity in that question to expand on it, to ask more questions, to gain more insight. But because we don't have this skill, which I call the spaghetti effect, and we just drop it, that's what ends conversations. That's why conversations become just kind of duds. They're no longer exciting for both people. It's just because I just let it sit there. She answered it and I just dropped it right there, as opposed to just going, well, I'm curious. Remember, the spaghetti effect works well when you are curious. And that's a great thing to say. I had a girlfriend, she was amazing at that. It was a good friend of mine. And she would always say, Arica, I'm curious. Can you tell me a little bit more about this? And because she said, I'm curious, it made me feel like she actually wanted to get to know me more. And when a person feels, here's the other part, when a person feels that that person wants to get to know them more, they're more inclined to continue to share more, which is really what conversation is all about. When we say like making amazing conversation with a girl, essentially it's that curiosity to get to know the other person and for the other person to feel seen. Like, I want to share more with you because you're curious. So make sure that you're leading with that posture of curiosity, because every human being has a need, has a desire, has a want to be seen. That's why when you hear people who fall in love, they go, oh, well, they fell in love with the real me. I feel like I can just be me with this person. What does that mean? I feel seen and I feel accepted by that person. So that's what conversation is all about, is helping each other see into one another more, growing that intimacy through vulnerability, through conversation. So remain curious, but also use the spaghetti effect. Don't be afraid to continue to ask her more questions. And whatever you do, don't just drop it on the ground. Once she answers it, don't just leave it on the ground. Think of it as a basketball where you got to keep the ball in the air. Think of it as spaghetti. You want to continue to expand upon her answers by asking more questions, or even giving some of your own input of, yeah, I've been to Italy before. And did you go to Venezia? And did you go to Milano? You can expand on your own experiences. And when we have similar experiences, that's where true affinity is built, and that's where connection gets established. So guys, I hope this video helped you. If you're new, make sure that you subscribe and turn on the bell so that YouTube will let you know when I do one of my random live videos where you get to chat with me and ask your questions in real time. Listen, guys, you have what it takes. Sometimes these skills don't come natural to us, and that's okay. But we can always grow. We can always better ourselves. We can always stretch ourselves, like the spaghetti effect. We can always stretch ourselves so that we can become better at conversation, connecting with women, developing that intimacy so that our hearts can feel fully alive. And don't you forget, my darling, that in this very moment, that you, my dear, you are deeply, so deeply loved. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video. You take care, my darling.